Hey there. It's me, Eden. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and visit my Patreon page for early access, link in the comment, thanks. Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd. I chickened out on the sexy satin outfit this morning. After all, it was Saturday, and I wanted Saturday clothes. I settled on a pair of cutoffs again, green this time, and a pale yellow knit pullover that felt almost like a t-shirt. Sarah and I took the elevator down to the laundry room to wash and dry our clothes. A lot of the residents and their family members had left either for the day or the weekend, so we got some kissing in between folding undies. Sarah complained about the vampires, who kept taking blood for blood tests, and said that she felt about a quart low. We laughed about the antics of the younger kids during the previous week. Kelly came in, the girl recuperating from burns. She walked slowly and stiffly. She had on sandals, shorts, and a sleeveless pullover, so we could see more of the red, scarred areas. Some of them had dressings taped on. I had noticed earlier that her scarred right hand was missing 2 fingers, but now with her sandals I saw that her foot hadn't fared any better. I tried not to react, but she must have picked up on a tiny wince. "Sorry," she said. "I know this isn't pretty. But clothes hurt a lot." She started to load the other washer. "Looks like we both got it on the right side, Sarah. People keep telling me I should be thankful to be alive, but sometimes it hurts so bad, and people stare at me, and I wonder. But I guess I'm glad. Sometimes I get jealous looking at you. It's obvious you're really close. I had a sister. We argued sometimes, but we still loved each other. She didn't make it through the fire. Neither did my dad. It's just me and Mom now." "How long ago was the fire, Kelly?" Sarah asked. "A year ago last December. My dad was ranch hand and Mom's a cook. Mom was visiting a sick sister one night and Dad fell asleep smoking. He died in the fire and my sister didn't survive the burns. They didn't think I would either. This is my 6th round of plastic surgery and follow-up rehab. Keeping the skin and muscles flexible is a bitch, but it's worth it. I just curl up in a ball otherwise. Probably 1 more week for me this time, then home for a few months and then back again." I was amazed that it had been that long. If she had been through 6 rounds of plastic surgery, what would she have looked like before? Wow. Sarah's situation was tough, but Kelly's was worse. "We'll miss you when you go, Kelly," I said. "But I'm glad for us that we have these 2 weeks together." "Julie, do you feel kind of strange sometimes being the only normal kid here?" she asked suddenly. "That depends on your definition of normal, I guess. I was with Sarah so much at the hospital, and then at home before we came here, that it doesn't bother me much to be around kids with medical problems. We're a lot alike in some ways. What you see on the outside doesn't have much to do with what's on the inside. A lot of kids, boys and girls, treat me like I'm a little bit of a freak because I'm athletic and plain and all." Kelly smiled. "Well, I think you're cute, in a funky kind of way." "Do you have a boyfriend?" she asked. I was trying to answer according to Julie's frame of reference. "Not right now. I've had a few. I'm going to college next fall, so I guess there's still hope." Kelly looked at Sarah. "You're still kind of shy about people seeing you without your leg, aren't you?" "I'm sorry if I'm getting too personal. It's still hard for me to be out on the city street and notice people staring at me and asking dumb questions. But I can only be who I am, you know? And how others take me, that's their problem, not mine. Maybe sometime we 3 can go out together, if that's okay, with the 2 of you, and get some fast food, or loop the mall, or something. Then you'll be out in the crowd, and won't be the center of attention." I wanted to jump at the chance. One of my big goals was to make Sarah feel more comfortable out in public. But it had to be Sarah's decision.
Yeah,
I'd like that, she smiled. And not just because I want you to be the decoy, but because I really like to be with you. What do you say, Annie? Sure. Our aunt and uncle are coming over and should be here about lunchtime. They'll probably want to eat supper with us, and dinner tomorrow. How about a trip to the mall and supper at the fast food court tomorrow evening? Maybe we could even catch a flick. We talked a bit longer, griping about the food and the grouchy aide. When the laundry was finished, we went up and waited for my folks, our Aunt Fran and Uncle Carl, to come. It was nearly 12 when they arrived. We all hugged, and they said, "It's so good to see you, Annie." So the Holdings had gotten the message through about my new identity. Although Hope Haven was okay, and I really liked the kids, it was great to get away for a few hours. We had lunch in the car at a drive-in, then drove into the mountains. We both did a lot of chattering about the first week. For supper, my folks suggested a fancy Chinese restaurant they had already checked out for accessibility. Sarah agreed. Twice in one weekend she would be out in public. Of course, Sarah asked me to wear the nicest silk dress that Joan had sent, long, jade green, shapely, and with a sexy slit. She also made up my Kanita face, and helped me put in some long, dangly earrings. Dad's eyes widened when he saw me, but he smiled and said, "You're looking beautiful, girls. All three of you." I impressed everybody with my chopstick dexterity. The long nails actually helped keep them balanced. We watched a TV movie in their motel room before they brought us back to Hope Haven. Sarah begged off from church that morning, so I went with my folks. It was time to premiere the burgundy skirt. I felt a little strange to realize how pleased I was with how I looked, not just for being able to pass as Julie, but just with how nice I looked as Annie. After church, we picked up a pizza and took it back to Hope Haven. I changed back to my grubbies for the afternoon. My parents left soon after we killed the pizza. While Sarah napped, I bicycled a few miles on a great bike path the city had built along the river. I wasn't trying for speed, just exercise and relaxation. Sarah, Kelly, and I climbed into the Honda to go to the mall. Although Sarah used the chair, she brought her crutches with her, too, so she could reach the machines at the arcade, and for exercise. She even chose a skirt, rather than less revealing slacks. Oh, we got the stares, all right. Sometimes we'd stare back. We got a few smiles and friendly waves, too. "Are you feeling comfortable with us, Annie?" Kelly whispered once. "Having the time of my life," I smiled. Just a week ago I was frightened about going on a shopping trip as a girl. Now I was having a ball. What more could a girl want, except for maybe a new set of earrings and a teal pin-on hair ribbon to go with the khaki dress? And those were mine in short order. Should I be worrying that I was having such a good time? Monday, June 23rd. We spent a long morning at rehab today. Last week the prosthetics experts had made a mold of her stump, and today they were working with her to fit a cup that would hold her to and cushion her from her prosthesis. Also last week was lots of exercise, building strength and flexibility in her hip, and general muscle tone. Sarah Beth's muscle tone had always been good, but had taken a beating with her illness. So it was today that they worked on fitting the cup to her stump. I was interested in the process but couldn't do much. After lunch came the chemo session. As her partner, I went back with her to the waiting room and then the treatment room. There were other kids with cancer in the waiting room, 1 or 2 who were staying at Hope Haven, and the rest who were outpatient or still inpatient. Some still had their hair, some wigs, some bandanas or scarves, some just bald. So far, we were lucky with the chemo side effects. They, along with the PT, really tired Sarah Beth, and they had caused some nausea and queasiness, but nothing she couldn't handle. The queasiness would come and go, but for the most part, she felt decent if rather tired. It was a great early summer day, temperature in the high 70s, when we left the children's hospital. I invited her to take a walk with me. I pushed her in her wheelchair down to a park area by the river. I sat on a park bench, and we held hands and talked. "Mark," she started, no one was within earshot, "are you sure that you're okay with this? It was a great weekend, but are you really willing to spend 5 more weeks as Annie?" "Absolutely," I said. "It's not as bad as I thought keeping up the Annie image. I get a little nervous, though, when sometimes I feel like this is normal, that I am Annie. Like last night at the mall. Oh, by the way, I brought you something." I reached into my purse and pulled out a long green ribbon, the shade of her beautiful eyes. "A ribbon? It's a beautiful color. But were you forgetting that I may not have anything to wrap it around in a couple of weeks?" I stood up, moved behind her, and tied her long wavy ginger-colored hair back with it, and made a fairly respectable bow. I sat back down. "No, I'm not forgetting. I think about it every day when I see some of the kids at Hope Haven or the chemo waiting area. I just want you to have it to remind you that after you lose your hair, it will come back, and someday I'll put the ribbon in your hair again, just like I did now. I will always love you, Sarah Beth Holding. And I'll always love you, Mark, or Annie, or whoever you are." We sat and watched the shallow river burble over rocks. Then we went back for supper and an evening in the TV room with the other kids. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access. Link in the comment. Thanks.